Right. I think that's all I have on cross.
Okay.
Any redirect for this witness, Attorney Stoffel?
Yes, I do. However, I'd ask, I don't even need 5 minutes, but I would like to take a restroom break.
Right. Let's come back at 11:45 then.
Okay.
Looks like everybody's back, so let's just go ahead at this point in time. We're on redirect by Attorney Stoffel to Ms. Doherty.
Okay. Ms. Doherty, uh, just some follow-up questions here. Uh, you were asked all these questions about Ms. Kutz's hours, and you explained that, especially the summer hours. In the same regard, have you ever worked late on a Friday before taking a long vacation to make sure
Yeah.
you're all caught up for your time
Yes.
away?
Yes.
Okay. You were asked all these questions about your awareness of whether Ms. Ellen was even in the building on July 2nd, 2021. Do you recall those questions?
Yes.
Or, I mean, you've already testified to this. Are you aware that Ms. Kutz has taken the position that she was in the building on July 2nd?
Yes.
Okay. And if you could go, I mean, you may just recall trial exhibit 10, which is at C22 at Lumen 147.
In there.
You were asked about this, I mean, sentence where she wrote in the middle of that paragraph, I was told this on July 2nd, 2021.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of whether Ms. Kutz had the ability to check her email while out of the building?
I believe I believe she did. I cannot say for certain. But most employees now have their email attached to their phone. I cannot say for certain whether or not Mrs. Kutz did have that or not.
Okay. Was she emailing you from home over the period she was out for these medical issues?
Yes.
Okay. Did that inform you of whether she could email from outside of the building?
Yes.
Okay. And what conclusion can we draw?
That she had the capacity to email when she was outside of St. Peter Manual.
Okay. I mean, you were asked all these questions about exhibit, it would be 21. I mean, kind of on the same topic, this email sent on July 2nd. But I'd like to direct your attention back to exhibit 20, which is in, let me see here, in the Lumen book at, oh, this is the 2020, tab 20. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any reason to understand that Ms. Kutz wouldn't have been able to or couldn't have been able to read this email?
No.
Okay. And again, this was the email that said, please make sure to send all the money you might still have in the office to Lumen.
Correct.
Could you flip to trial exhibit 14, which is back to C22, claimants 22. At Bait 65.
I'm there.
Okay. You were asked a lot of questions about this email, including questions about in the second paragraph there, where it states on July 18th, you notified Ms. Doherty via text that you would not be reporting to work. Is a text message a medical excuse from a doctor?
No,
Okay. You stated you had a doctor's appointment on July 27th and would let Ms. Doherty know that afternoon when you would be returning to work. On July 27 at 6:52 p.m., you emailed Ms. Doherty the following. Is an email from Ms. Kutz a doctor's note?
no,
You were asked questions about the individual who replaced Ms. Kutz in August.
hmm
Yes.
yes, sorry, yes,
And and you said you were calling her a temp, and you even testified that she was a temp from a temp agency.
correct.
And you said she came on board in mid-August.
I believe that's when she came on board.
Okay, so was there still some possibility, at least in your understanding, that in mid-August, Ms. Kutz might return under certain circumstances as an employee to Lumen?
I'm going to object. I think that's leading.
It is leading. I'm going to let the witness respond to it.
To the best of my understanding, yes, there was a potential opportunity that Ellen may return to Lumen under a potential circumstance.
Is that why this was all couched in terms of a temp and a temp agency?
It was.
I think that's assuming facts that aren't in evidence. And I think it's also leading.
This is in response to evidence that you elicited, opposing counsel has elicited.
Could the court reporter just read back the question for me?
The question was, is that why this was all couched in terms of a temp and a temp agency?
Okay, I'll let the witness respond to that question.
My knowledge in that moment was we had a highly capable person that would be able to step in the interim of anything to help continue the office procedures running, especially at that time of the year.
Okay. You had questions then about how Ms. Kutz had been communicating to you via text and email during this period of time in July. Generally, you recall testifying in these questions.
Yeah.
Through the course of having those communications, did Ms. Kutz convey anything to you that would lead you to understand she was having difficulty communicating with you?
No,
During this time, was Ms. Kutz providing you updates about what she understood medical professionals were telling her?
yes,
Did you have any understanding that she was having difficulty communicating with medical professionals?
Objection. I think that
no.
I guess I don't think the witness has any basis to answer that.
Could you read back the question for him, please?
Question was, did you have any understanding that she was having difficulty communicating with medical professionals?
And the nature of the objection is what?
I don't think this witness has any basis to answer that question.
Okay, well, I guess if that was communicated to her in some way, she'd be able to answer that question. So, Ms. Doherty, did she communicate anything like that to you?
No, she did not communicate that she was having difficulty communicating with any medical professionals.
Okay. And in fact, that leads to kind of the ultimate question I wanted to ask. Did Ms. Kutz ever indicate to you in any way that she was somehow medically unable or debilitated from communicating with doctors to provide some kind of doctor's note or medical excuse for her time away?
No,
Did you have any reason to understand that that might be the case?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you were asked multiple questions about the why you wanted a medical, or you were requesting a medical note within 3 days. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. Was uh, the in asking for that medical documentation within, that period of time, was that in any way driven by any animus or ill will or ill feelings you had towards Ellen's headaches?
No.
Was it driven in any way by any ill will or animus or ill feelings you had toward Ellen because of her age,
No.
or any medical issues being experienced by Ms. Kutz?
No.
What was driving the reason that you were requesting that medical excuse for that period of, within that period of time?
So I had a clear understanding of when to expect her back to work. Again, so I could plan properly for the school year. End of July, beginning of August is an incredibly busy time for teachers, for families, for students. And I needed to have a clear understanding of when to expect her back so I could plan appropriately.
Okay. And with knowledge as to the date of when she could be back, was there additional information you would be looking for?
Can you say that one more time?
So in addition to the question of the date that she would be back, is there any additional information you'd be looking for related to Ellen that could be provided in a doctor's note?
Yes, if there were any accommodations that we would need to make for her upon her return.
Okay. In the course of your time working with Ellen as her supervisor, would you ever ask her to email somebody on behalf of you or the school?
I'm certain that there were times. I can't give you an exact example, but
Maybe I'd put it another way. What's a type of task in a given school day that you might ask Ellen to take care of?
she would take care of like calling families to communicate something, or check in on students that were absent, support the teachers if they needed something.
Okay. So for example, calling parents.
Mhm.
Might that be if like a parent was injured?
If a parent was injured,
I'm sorry, if a student was injured?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Would that be a pretty important call to make?
Yes.
If you asked Ellen to call a parent about an injured student, would you have an expectation that that would be done
Yes.
and promptly?
Yes.
Is there a rule anywhere you can point me to that says the administrative assistant is required to call parents, upon direction from the principal?
No.
But if Ellen didn't follow through in informing a parent, calling a parent about an injury, and the day went by and concluded, would that be grounds for follow-up with Ellen about what happened that day?
Yes.
Okay. And potentially discipline?
Yes.
Okay.
It could. Yeah.
Okay, those are my questions.
Any recross, Attorney Yerk?
Oh, I do have some. I think it's pretty limited. Okay, you testified that you had no reason to believe Ellen was having any difficulties communicating because of her medical condition. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you turn to the document marked Exhibit 14, and I'm looking at Lumen 65. It's in C22, page 65. Let me know when you're there.
Oh, I'm there. I'm sorry.
Okay, now let's look at that email that Ellen sent you on July 27th, starting with hi. Do you see that?
Yes.
You know
Okay.
what? I'm going to hold on for a second here because I'm not really sure if I'm there. I thought you had said trial exhibit 14. Is that right or not?
Yes.
Okay, because that is a email of July 29th.
Sure. And then in text, it quotes an email from July 27th.
Okay, where on the document are you then?
It's in the, I guess, middle where it goes, it's in italics, it's indented.
Okay, on the first page on Lumen 65.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And we already established this was an email Ellen sent this witness on July 27th, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you see that first sentence there of that
Yes.
email?
Yes.
Does Ellen here say that the delay in responding to emails is because she's having bad headaches since July 4th?
Sorry for the. She is stating she is having bad headaches. Yes.
Okay, and that's in the same sentence as sorry for the delay in responding to emails, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then she says later in the email, not the next sentence, but the sentence after that, from that point forward, living in constant head pain. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And neither of these comments gave you any reason to understand that Ellen was having any medical difficulties communicating.
This particular email is stating that in this moment, yes, she was having headaches and head pain, and also stating that she can work on the computer in small pieces of time.
Implying that she couldn't work longer than that, correct?
That's what it's stating right now. Right there, yes.
Yeah, and she's saying it's been going on since July 4th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And she said that for the pain, she was taking tramadol. If we look at that third paragraph, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you know anything about tramadol?
No.
Okay, do you see her description of what it did to her in the next sentence?
Yes.
Okay, where she says, took one when I got home and it knocked me out.
Yes. Yes.
So you have no reason to believe she's having any medical difficulties communicating while taking this medicine?
She's stating that her prescribed medicine made her tired and still caused her to wake up with a headache.
Got it. So she's taking prescription medicine that both makes her tired and doesn't eliminate her headaches.
That's what she is stating.
Got it. And her headaches are causing the delay in her response to emails.
That's what she is stating.
But you have no reason to believe she's having any medical issues communicating.
She's still communicating via email.
Okay. Then, now I'm fairly confident this was marked as an exhibit, but I'm looking at page Lumen 62. Let me know when you're there.
I'm sorry. Where are we?
Lumen 62 would be 3 pages before the one we just looked at.
And it's trial exhibit 15, if that helps.
Perfect. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there. Sorry.
All right. And so at the top here, this is Carrie Brust sending an email you're CC'd on, correct?
Yes,
And that CC'd email is replying to an email from Ellen Kutz, correct?
correct.
And in that email, Ellen describes her medical symptoms, correct?
Yes,
And she describes what tramadol does to her in terms of her ability to work in that email, correct?
I'm just reading the email.
Okay, go for it.
Yes,
All right, so she says that her conditions are not conducive with work, correct?
correct.
But you had no reason to believe that she had any difficulty communicating because of her medical condition?
She communicated via this email.
Okay, and she didn't indicate any difficulties with that?
She's communicating that the medicine is making her sleep a lot.
And you didn't understand that to mean she was having difficulties? She's just sleeping, but it's totally fine.
Objection. I mean, this is just getting argumentative, and I don't know if that's even a
This
question.
witness testified that she had no reason to believe Ellen was having any medical difficulties communicating, and we have email after email from Ellen
Objection.
describing her medical difficulties communicating.
Objection. This is in the nature of like closing argument.
I'm not making a closing argument. I'm responding to your objection.
Okay, well, I would note that in this very exhibit that we're talking about, Ms. Kutz says, I have kept Ms. Doherty informed of this all the way. So I think that does address the issue of communication between Ms. Kutz and Ms. Doherty on this. So why don't we go forward on something else if you have to explore that, Attorney Yerk.
All right. One more document. Actually, I do think I'm done then.
Okay, so let's take a step back and see where we're at. I know that we had initially anticipated Attorney Stoffel doing the cross-examination of Ms. Kutz this afternoon. Originally, it was 1 o'clock. Attorney York thought we could possibly do it at 12 noon. We're past 12 noon at this point in time, so we're not going to start then. I guess let me go with Attorney York. When would you anticipate having your client available for questioning by Attorney Stoffel?
So I have to go to the nursing home again and get everything set up. And I think last time, obviously that was my first time doing that, but took about an hour and a half. I would say somewhere between an hour and a half from whenever we take a break, we can pick up with Ellen.
All right. So it's 12:08 right now. I'm thinking, I don't know. I think 1:15 at the earliest, 1:30 maybe at the latest. I guess, Attorney Yerk, what do you think?
I think that makes sense, unless, I guess, I'm just wondering if we should finish up this witness and then, because if there's just, I mean, my read cross was limited to one topic. And so if there's further, I guess, questioning from Attorney Stoffel on that one topic, I'm just wondering if it makes sense to finish that and then take a break. Or was it?
We're not going to do any more questioning of Ms. Doherty. Both attorneys have had 2 opportunities to ask questions, so we're not asking any
Understood.
more questions.
Okay,
So with
perfect.
that, then,
That was, sorry. Then we are on the same page. I think that timeline makes sense to me.
all right. So I guess let's, I guess, can you drop us a line at like 1:15 and let us know where you're at? I mean, if you're ready to go, I guess, perhaps we can go then. Otherwise, I'm tending to think that 1:30 is probably more likely going to be the starting time for the cross-examination of Ms. Kutz. That just based on the last time that we did this.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I can definitely let everyone know if it looks like we're going to be ready earlier, but just given that the driving conditions are worse, I'm not sure the setup time, I guess, will save me a lot of time.
We did. We had some snow in Milwaukee. I don't know how it is in Minnesota, but yeah, some Halloween snow
Yeah.
fell, so the roads aren't exactly the greatest
Yeah.
right now. So
Yeah, Judge, I think
let's.
your Thursday night snow was our Wednesday night snow. My
So yours
understanding.
is all cleared up then, is that it?
Yeah, well, it's melting now.
All right. Well, okay. Attorney Yerk, if you could just check in at 1:15, let us know. And then if you need additional time to 1:30, let us know that. And then we'll proceed at that point in time.
That sounds great.
I'll watch.
The other thing is I am going to disconnect this recording and we'll start anew with a fresh recording when we start in the afternoon. And so everyone should check in just as you did initially this morning.
Okay. Will we be watching for an email at 1:15? Just so I know what to look.
No, you can just use the same invitation. It's just that I'll be starting a new recording as opposed to just pausing the recording, which is what I've done on all our breaks.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sorry, Judge, but to clarify, in case Mr. Yurk hasn't set up yet and can't log into the WebEx because of just logistical reasons, I'm wondering if he's going to advise us at 1:15 by email or an expectation that we're all on the WebEx. I just want to know where I should be and what I should be checking.
Attorney Yerk, can you let us know via email at 1:15?
Yeah, I will. I should let you know before 1:15 whether or not I can be ready at 1:15, and if not, whether or not I will definitely be ready at 1:30.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
There'll be a new WebEx link being sent momentarily.
No, actually, we won't need to do that. Just use the same one
Oh,
from this morning.
okay. Sorry for my confusion, but I'm clear now.
Okay, great. We'll see. We'll reconnect then at 1:15, see where we're at, and then get started, accordingly.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.